Hey, my creative friends. I'm Shannon from Shannon Studio, and I feel like we're a little crooked, but I'm here to talk about a creative life, share my creative life, see things that we can do to help both of us, all of us, have time to create in our lives and to make that a priority. Hi, Rose. Hey, Trisha. So, it's interesting doing these videos. I think I'm like on 160-ish, I think, 150-ish. And so it's really interesting having something that consistent like this every day. And a lot of days I don't know exactly what I'm going to share. I kind of let it creatively, get that creative, I let it creatively come up. Hey from Trisha and Raylan, another star party. And yeah, another star party. Trisha was saying, yeah, I've explained that before about our star parties. But anyways, okay, so part of me, every day, if I haven't written out an outline, some weeks I write out an outline, know what I'm going to do, and it's not a problem. Some days I'm just not, I'm just not sure. And so those days I go through this little routine in my head about, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Usually it's not the idea, am I going to show up? And that was, thinking about that today, that was really interesting. I'm not going over in my head, am I going to show up today? Because I've already made that decision. That decision's already made. And so it's just a foregone conclusion that I'm going to show up. My only panic is, what am I going to say that's useful and helpful and ties into our creative lives? And so I thought that was interesting, sometimes that just showing up. So I was reading about it, about how we show up. And I was talking to my daughter, Samantha, and she said, that's half the battle, showing up. And I was thinking about her because she just returned from a semester of doing an internship down in Utah. She's going to school in Idaho, but they took the semester so she could do an internship. And she would let me know every so often, it's like she would pinch herself. I'm making $20 an hour. I think that's how much she was making. And she's never made that much money. And it's an internship, which she's not even done yet. And she's just thrilled that she could earn that kind of money and that she was making money and doing it. Because 2 years prior to that, she went into, not computer science, but software engineering, I think it is. And she knew nothing about it. Nothing. And that was really brave of her to step into that, not knowing it, not having the vocabulary. Like today she said, now I know the vocabulary and I know what this means and this means. And they were simple terms, I've even heard, I don't know what they mean, but they were simple terms that if you were going into that, you would probably already know. But she didn't know. And, but she decided because of a couple different reasons that were important to her. But it's interesting, it's just like, it's a couple points she was just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, this is so hard. But basically, she just kept showing up. She just kept being there and showing up and doing the work. And so, I don't think that can be underestimated, that showing up, even when it's not perfect in our head, even if we don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, that is a huge chunk of doing things, of doing whatever goals, leading a creative life, having a strong family, whatever is important to us, or the several things that are important to us. So there are a couple of things that when I was reading that that talk about this showing up. In Tim Ferriss's book, his newest book, what is that book? I don't know. Titans, something with Titans. His book. And he has different people he talks to about their success and their productivity and just advice. And so one of the people he was working on some physical exercises to strengthen himself in a certain way, and it was taking too long, so he would report to this coach Sumner, and then he got a letter back. And so part of this letter says that if the pursuit of excellence was easy, everyone would do it. And isn't that the truth? Achieving the extraordinary is not a linear process. The secret is to show up, do the work, and go home. So it's that showing up, doing what we know how to do, and that's going to come to another quote by by Brene Brown, but which I'll just jump over. She says something about. She says, you must stubbornly walk into the room regardless, and you must hold your head high. You made it. You get to put it out there. You made it. You get to put it out there. Never apologize for it. Never explain it away. Never be ashamed of it. You did your best with what you knew, and you worked with what you had in the time that you were given. You were invited, and you showed up. So that's what we have to take into account. And a lot of times what we do is we are in this moment, but we want to look back at what we did previously and go, oh, we should have done that different. We shouldn't have done it, or different things. And I think there's a little evaluation process, but not a beating up process that has to go on. And we want to use the sight that we have now to critique what we did before. And that's not productive for us. And so we need to show up however we are now. So you get me however I am now with what I have to work with, and I'm just going to keep showing up. And that's what I was thinking about, showing up. So back to Coach Sumner. He says it's a blue-collar work ethic married to indomitable will. It is literally that simple. Nothing interferes. Nothing can sway you from your purpose. Once the decision is made, simply refuse to budge, refuse to compromise, and accept that quality long-term results require quality long-term focus. No emotion, no drama. Learn to enjoy and appreciate the process. There is a process with showing up. There's a process that happens with simply showing up with, every day. It's for me every day, but for whatever your time frame is, there's value in pushing all those things aside and just showing up and doing what you can at that moment. So anyway, Samantha, she's doing great in her work. And knowing nothing, but she wanted to quit sometimes. She was frustrated. She didn't think she had the ability, but she's continuing it. And 2.5 years in, she's feeling very confident about what she's doing. Yet 2.5 years ago, she wasn't. Some of the things that I do and the things that I want to do with myself, I create my own angst. I create, sometimes we create our own anxiety because we want certain things. And that's just part of showing up, and the process is that we're going to have angst or distress or, any of those emotions that go with it. We have to realize that showing up isn't always pretty. It's not hardly easy, but there is, and here's a quote from Chuck Close in Tim Ferriss's book. He says, inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get the work done. Get to work. And the belief that things will grow out of the activity itself. So things will grow out of what? Just showing up. So, and the belief that things will grow out of the activity itself, that you through work bump into other possibilities and kick open other doors that would never have you would never have dreamt of it. Oh, jeez. Let me start that one over. Grow out of the activity itself, that you through work bump into other possibilities and kick open other doors that you would never have dreamt of it. I still am messing it up, aren't I? Let's just you never would have dreamt of just sitting around looking for an art idea. So a great art idea. So he's saying, he's a painter, and I believe he's in a wheelchair, and he just shows up and does the work. And in the work is, the process goes on. There's a process, and then in the showing up, there's other things that open up that you don't see. One of the things that I didn't see from doing videos every day was that I have some content outline for my creativity courses. I mean, I already had one, but now I have several. So, I mean, other possibilities show up when we show up. So that is the tip today. Show up regardless. Regardless, don't talk yourself out of it. Just show up with your uncertainty. Show up with all of those little voices that might be saying something to you about that you haven't quite quieted yet, about how you're not ready or whatever. Just show up. Show up. Things will change. And also, I wanted to show you something I was working on today. Because I want to show you that things fail. Like I told you, I was doing those mats around the frame. That was a fail. Then today I did this because I really wanted to have a little t-shirt with my little, the manifesto on it. So I was so excited, and I got I had the iron on, and I'm, doing the shirt, and it's turning out. And then there was this little tiny corner that I was gonna fix, and so you can see what happened. That little tiny corner, hello. So I put the paper on the wrong way, and it ironed on the back of the paper. Yeah, so it ruined that. So, sometimes when we're creating, we definitely, even in our failures, we definitely learn, and it happens. I do stuff all the time, and I still mess up. But it's just like, nope, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna learn from it, try again. So I'm going to try these again because I just thought it would be fun. It would help me remember. So anyways, that is where I'm at today. I also got a little tiny do for my word for the year. I told you I changed it. So I got my little tiny bracelet. So how do you show up? Tell me what you think about showing up. Tell me if it's changed for you, how you get yourself to show up when it's a little bit hard. Anyways, that's it for today. Remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And bye, Trisha, Raylyn, and Rose. I will see you later. Trisha says, Raylyn said, every project has a moment of struggle and push through. Oh, that's good. Yes, every project has a moment of struggle. And especially if you haven't ever done it before. I've done iron-ons before, so yeah. And Raylyn does projects all the time, and she is usually doing something. I'm talking about candy window, display windows, where they're made out of candy. I'm thinking of those in particular, where I remember her doing things, or you doing things, Raylyn, where you're working with candy and glues. And those two, sometimes there's a chemical reaction that doesn't work. And I remember her trying different things. She's talking about how this glue didn't work with this candy, or this glue did, and, thinking something's gonna work and it doesn't, so she has to, pivot, do something else. So yes, she absolutely knows about how to show up and still keep at it. That's a good reminder, Lynn. Thanks. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.